After a series of raids in Kashmir Valley in the terror funding case, the NIA has made a major disclosure. NIA sources said that during these raids that were conducted yesterday, there were in fact several recoveries, particularly incriminating evidence from digital devices from the accused. NIA sources said that those who were raided were collecting donations from abroad in the name of women and childcare, as well as education and healthcare. Now, the agency claims that these funds were utilized to propagate terror narrative. NIA sources claim that publications which were raided yesterday were allegedly trying to sow seeds of discontent against our government. Further, the NIA claimed that the army was being painted as oppressor, while human rights violations of terrorists was being glossed over. Sources in the NIA further also claimed the modus operandi used was very similar to that of the Maoist sympathizers to capture local, national as well as international intellectual space really against the Indian government. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has cautioned the Indian Army about China's intent during the military talks between the two armies. According to sources, Rajnath, while addressing the army commanders during an ongoing conference in New Delhi, told them not to let their guard down and to be wary of Chinese actions. He also complimented the forces for the high standard of operational preparedness and capabilities. This message from the Defence Minister came a day after the 2+2 ministerial dialogue between India and the United States. In the opening remark at this crucial meet, Rajnath had referred to reckless aggression by China along the line of actual control. And in the 2+2 ministerial dialogue that was held recently, the United States had raised security threats from China, saying it will fully support India in defending its sovereignty and liberty.
The challenge of defeating the pandemic that came from Wuhan also fed into our robust discussions about the Chinese Communist Party. Our leaders and our citizens see with increasing clarity that the CCP is no friend to democracy, the rule of law, transparency, nor to freedom of navigation, the foundation of a free and open and prosperous Indo-Pacific. I'm glad to say that the United States and India are taking steps to strengthen our cooperation against all manner of threats, and not just those posed by the Chinese Communist Party.
15 years after the conclusion of the first U.S.-India defense framework, the defense ties between our two nations remain a key pillar of our overall bilateral relationship. Based on our shared values and common interests, we stand shoulder to shoulder in support of a free and open Indo-Pacific for all, particularly in light of increasing aggression and destabilizing activities by China. I am pleased to report that today we made substantial progress in further strengthening our relationship. During our meetings these last 2 days, we reaffirmed the United States' commitment to a comprehensive and forward-looking defense partnership with India, and discussed opportunities to expand our regional security cooperation, military-to-military interactions, and defense trade relationship. This includes increasing bilateral defense cooperation in the Indian Ocean region, Southeast Asia, and the broader Indo-Pacific.
And moving on, in what comes as a big embarrassment for the Imran Khan government over Wing Commander Abhinandan Varthaman's release from Pakistan, Pakistan's member of National Assembly has made an explosive claim. Addressing the Assembly, Ayaz Sadiq claimed that Imran Khan government feared an IAF airstrike if Abhinandan was not released. Sadiq even claimed that the Pakistan Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi was shivering. Meanwhile, former Pakistan Defence Minister Khwaja Asif Ali claimed that it was the Pakistan Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa who called for Abhinandan's release.
जिसमें प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब ने आने से इनकार कर दिया और चीफ ऑफ आर्मी स्टाफ तशरीफ लाए, पैर कांप रहे थे, पसीने माथे पे थे और हमसे शाह महमूद साहब ने कहा, फॉरेन मिनिस्टर साहब ने, कि खुदा का वास्ता है अब इसको वापस जाने दें, क्योंकि 9 बजे रात को हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान पे अटैक कर रहा है।
मोहतरम वजीर की के वहाँ पे जो गैदरिंग थी, वजीर आज़म साहब ने वहाँ पे आना था। एक घंटा जो है वहाँ पे इंतज़ार होता रहा कि वजीर आज़म साहब इस इमारत में मौजूद थे, लेकिन कमेटी रूम नंबर 2 में वो ना आए। आर्मी चीफ ने जनरल कमर बाजवा साहब ने वहाँ पे ये ब्रीफिंग दी और अभिनंदन के रिलीज करने के ज़रूरत पे जोर दिया और इस बात का इम्प्रेशन दिया गया कि इसके की अपीजमेंट का कोई ना कोई जो है मस्बत असरात जो है भारत की तरफ से आएंगे.
This is a huge revelation, in fact, and this is not a small one, in the sense that we have a top leader from Pakistan, Mr. Sadiq, and that too on the floor of the National Assembly of Pakistan. He's giving a reply to a question where he uses the words, which, I mean, I have heard in the channel, and the words were, पैर कांप रहे थे और माथे पे पसीना था. That is of Kamar Bajwa, the army chief के पैर कांप रहे थे पाकिस्तान के और माथे में पसीना था. And finally, the foreign minister of Pakistan, Mahmood Qureshi, in fact, advises that immediately release Abhinandan ji. Otherwise, in fact, India is going to attack at 9 p.m. I mean, this is what a proactive India is. This is what the stand of India today is globally. I mean, India protects its every citizen. India stands for its every Jawan. And today, for the first time, I feel so elated. I feel proud.
And in a big development that's expected today, the Joint Committee of Parliament on Data Protection Bill has summoned officials of Google and Paytm for a hearing today. Earlier on Wednesday, officers of Twitter, Facebook and Amazon were questioned by the committee. The panel will be questioning the officers of these two tech firms on data protection, on data safety as well as storage. Officials from Google will be asked on the sale of user data, whereas Paytm will be asked on data storage. The committee is headed by BJP MP Meenakshi Lekhi. The MPs have their own set of questions prepared for the hearing. Earlier, officials of Airtel, Jio, Uber, Ola, Facebook as well as Truecaller were also summoned by this committee. Getting you the latest political updates from Bihar. For the first time in his poll campaign, the Prime Minister targeting the Mahagathbandhan's chief ministerial face and RJD leader Tejaswi Yadav referred to him as the Yuvraj of Jungle Raj, reminding Bihari voters of Lalu Prasad Yadav's rule. The Prime Minister declared that voting for the opposition will make the state Bimar again. But with nearly 25% of the electorate in the state being under 30 years of age, will invoking memories of Jungle Raj really work for the NDA?
Massacres, musclemen, militias. In the race to power in Bihar, Lalu Yadav Jr. is haunted by what was widely believed to be a nexus between politicians, bureaucrats and criminal gangs when his parents governed the state.
मैं मानता हूं ये जंगल राज के युवराज से बिहार की जनता पुराना ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड के आधार पर और क्या अपेक्षा कर सकती है. जंगल राज की परंपरा में सब कुछ सीखने वाले लोगों को मुझसे ज्यादा अच्छी तरह बिहार की जनता जानती है.
The term Jungle Raj, notoriously linked to the Lalu Rabdi rule, makes a roaring comeback.
आपका जैसे मास्क पहनने से 2 गज की दूरी रखने से आप अपने और अपने परिवार को बीमारी से बचा सकते हैं, वैसे ही आप अपने एक वोट से बिहार को बीमार बनाने से बचा सकते हैं.
As Bihar began to vote, the Prime Minister evoked memories of crime and corruption that beset the RJD rule before Nitish Kumar took over 15 years ago. Official data shows violent crime and kidnappings have come down over the past decade and a half.
The alleged Jungle Raj happened more than 15 years ago. But this election is happening on the heels of twin crises that struck Bihar and its people hard. The migrant exodus in virus lockdown and the devastating floods. Both these events fly in the face of Nitish Kumar's good governance model. And then there is anti-incumbent sentiments.
The opposition, led by the young RJD leader, has made unemployment its main poll plank. Joblessness is writ large on Bihar's job market. Official data suggests unemployment is not a post-pandemic phenomenon. Jobs in Bihar continue to disappear even more than a year before the coronavirus had struck.
आप लोग बताओ, 15 साल में नीतीश जी रोजगार दिए, कारखाना लगाए, पलायन रोके, गरीबी मिटाए, किसानों के लिए सिंचाई का व्यवस्था कराए। तो आप बताओ, जो जिसको रोजगार था उसको भी मोदी जी ने छीन लिया, नीतीश जी ने छीन लिया। नीतीश जी, आप थक चुके हो, आपसे बिहार संभलने वाला नहीं है।
A state stretched thin under the pressure of a terrible record of law and order from the past, and from a long-drawn quest for livelihood, over to voters to decide Bihar's future. With Anand Patel, Bureau Report, India Today.
India's coronavirus tally has crossed the 8 million mark. The search and wait for a safe and effective coronavirus vaccine continues. Let's get you all the updates on how far we've progressed in the search for a vaccine.
There are about 200 vaccine candidates in development around the world. The World Health Organization recognizes 154 vaccines in preclinical trial phase, 36 which are in the small-scale phase 1 trials. 16 vaccine candidates are in phase 2 expanded safety trials, 11 in large-scale efficacy trials, and none as yet approved. One of the frontrunners in the vaccine race has offered fresh hope, that of a viable vaccine which might work for all. Reports suggest the COVID-19 vaccine being developed by the University of Oxford has triggered protective antibodies and T cells in older age groups. The findings echo data released in July which showed the vaccine generated robust immune responses in a group of healthy adults aged between 18 and 55. But experts caution that positive immunogenicity tests do not guarantee that the vaccine will ultimately prove safe and effective. Details of the latest findings are expected to be published shortly in a clinical journal. Vaccines being developed by Oxford University and in Germany are at this moment believed to be the most likely candidates to be ready this year. But there may be a spanner in the works, it seems. A study by the Imperial College in London involving 3,65,000 people has shown that antibodies fell by more than a quarter in just 3 months. Experts say this rapid decline in immunity could mean that when a successful vaccine is found, it might have to be administered twice a year. And this rapid decline could be a matter of concern for developing a successful, all-purpose, one-shot coronavirus vaccine. In India, the Serum Institute is all poised to produce the first 100 million doses of the Oxford vaccine once it passes all the tests and is given the green signal.
Getting you the latest from the IPL, Mumbai Indians are all but through to the playoffs. The defending champions beat Virat Kohli's Bangalore by 5 wickets. Surya Kumar Yadav was the star performer with the bat for Mumbai. The right-hander scored an unbeaten 79 in the win. Mumbai were chasing a modest total of 165. Surya took control of things and played a flawless innings. He took just 43 deliveries and scored 10 boundaries and 3 huge sixes. Mumbai chased down the total with 5 deliveries to go and registered their 8th win of the season. MS Dhoni's Chennai will take on Kolkata in match 49 of the IPL. Chennai are out of contention for the playoffs but can spoil Kolkata's party. The Super Kings would play for pride while KKR will look to inch closer to playoff spot with a win. Chennai have just 4 wins in 8 games while Kolkata are at 5th spot with 6 wins. Chennai beat Bangalore in their last encounter. Kolkata on the other hand were outplayed by Punjab. We've often heard of real life inspiring real life. Here's one such instance from Kerala. This time, there's no happy ending. Here's a story that can happen only in India.
What you see are scenes from Malayalam hit Ayappanam Koshiyam. Ayappan Nair, a sub-inspector, demolishing an illegal shop in a fit of rage. The stunt has incidentally inspired a 30-year-old in Kannur to do something similar. Albin, reportedly upset with his neighbor for allegedly stalling marriage proposals for him, brought down his shop. Before doing so, he defended his actions, accusing the shop owner of running a gambling den and the police of inaction.
കഴിഞ്ഞ 30 വർഷമായിട്ട് ഈ നിൽക്കുന്ന ബിൽഡിംഗ് കള്ള് വിൽക്കാനും ആൺസ് വിൽക്കാനും രാത്രി ചീട്ടുകളി നടത്താനും വേണ്ടി മാത്രമായിട്ട് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന സ്ഥാപനം. നൂറുകണക്കിന് പരാതികൾ ഈ കടയെക്കുറിച്ചും ഇതിൻ്റെ വ്യക്തിയെക്കുറിച്ചും 2-3 മാർക്കറ്റ് സംഘം ഉണ്ടായിട്ടും ഇവിടുത്തെ പോലീസ് അധികാരികളോ ഇവിടുത്തെ പഞ്ചായത്ത് വകുപ്പോ ഒന്നും ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല. കഴിഞ്ഞ ഒരു മാസത്തിലേക്ക് ഇവരുടെ പേരിൽ 2 പോസ്റ്റ് ഓഫീസ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്തതാണ് ഈ വ്യക്തികൾ, ഈ കടയിലുള്ള വ്യക്തികളുടെ പേരിൽ. ഇതുവരെ നിലവിൽ അവരാരും ഒരു പ്രതികരണം ഉണ്ടാക്കിയില്ല. പോലീസ് സ്റ്റേഷനിൽ ഇന്ന് ഞാൻ പോയി ചോദിച്ചപ്പോൾ അവിടുത്തെ പോലീസുകാർ പറഞ്ഞാൽ വീട്ടിൽ കളിച്ചാൽ പരമാവധി പൈസ കൊടുക്കാതെ 3000 രൂപയാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഇതിലെ ജീവിക്കാൻ ഞങ്ങളെപ്പോലുള്ള നാട്ടുകാരായ ചെറുപ്പക്കാർക്ക് കുറേ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് ഈ സ്ഥാപനം ഞാൻ പൊളിച്ചു കളയുന്നു.
But Albin soon found out real life does not follow real life always. If Ayappan Nair was reinstated into police service, Albin is now cooling his heels in the lockup. With Gopi Krishnan Unnithan, Bureau Report, India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.